Credit cards are one of the sneakiest ways Americans end up broke. Not because people are stupid, not because people spend recklessly, but because the system is literally designed to keep you paying forever and you don't even realize it. Think about it. We get our first credit cards as teenagers or broke college students, and nobody explains how interest works. Nobody explains how minimum payments work. Nobody explains the long-term trap that you're going to be in. They just hand you a shiny piece of plastic and say, "Congrats, you now have a credit card." But what they really mean is, "Congrats, you now have a way to give us interest for the rest of your life." By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how credit cards quietly drain your money. Stick around to the end of the video and I show you how a $5,500 vacation to Japan put on a credit card can actually cost you $10,000 over 8 years. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is just a problem I've noticed with many coworkers and friends. You know what's wild? Credit card debt has become so normal that people don't even see it as a problem anymore. It's like background noise. Everyone has it, so it doesn't even feel alarming. Hear me out. Did you know that Americans now carry more than $1.2 trillion in credit card debt? That's trillion with a T. And the crazy thing is, it's not like people are buying yachts or Lamborghinis. Most of this debt is actually just from normal stuff. Groceries, gas, clothes, online orders, random subscriptions, emergency car repairs, impulse buys, and sometimes just a bad month. It's the daily cost of living but pushed into the future. The psychology behind it is very simple. Swiping feels easy and paying later also feels easy. And when you don't physically see the money leaving your hand, your brain doesn't track that spending. Really think about it, giving a $100 bill feels so much more different than just swiping your card or tapping to pay. And that's the first way credit cards make you broke. They disconnect spending from emotion. And when you keep doing this, you don't see the consequences until they're too big to ignore. At first it's $200, then $600, then $1,000, and you end up paying so much on interest. Then you look at your phone and then you realize, how did this bill get so high? But the truth is, you didn't spend all that money at one time. It's usually smaller purchases building up. It got there little by little, one swipe at a time. And that's exactly where the banks want you, comfortable, unaware, and building a balance for them. And this is why it's so easy to sign up for a credit card nowadays. Banks have enticing sign-up bonuses, 5 times category points to lure in the average consumer. Credit cards can be gamed, but it takes a lot of discipline. And the fact of the matter is, not a lot of people have that discipline. If you don't have any of it, then the bank just farms all of your money. Most people don't realize the dangers of high-interest credit cards. Let me break it down. When you swipe your card, you're borrowing money. But when you don't pay that money back fast enough, that's where the real game begins. If you guys are interested in these types of videos, in the next video, I'll talk about how to utilize a credit card appropriately and how to game the system. The average credit card APR is about 22 to 30%. 30%. That means if you carry a balance, everything you buy costs more than the price tag, sometimes a lot more. Here's a simple scenario. Let's say you owe $1,000 on your credit card. At a 30% interest rate, paying it off over 12 months, you'd be paying about $1,169 instead of $1,000 that you owed. That's a $169 difference a year. It gets even worse the more you get into credit card debt. The whole time you're paying extra. Interest doesn't feel like real money because you don't see it physically leaving your pocket, but it eats away at you month after month. And the banks, they're hoping that you're not going to pay off your credit card. They want you to carry a balance as long as you can. That's where the profit is. That's where they make their money. That's why they're able to give so many incentives for signing up. Here's what everyone doesn't realize. If everyone paid off their credit cards in full every single month, the credit card industry would collapse. Interest is their business model. So when people carry balances for years, they're not failing. They're behaving exactly how the system wants them to behave. It's a very vicious cycle. You pay more on your cards each month while having to put other expenses on other cards. And soon enough, you're $20,000 in high interest credit card debt, having to pay off a lot each month. But the real trap isn't even the interest, it's the illusion that you're staying on top of it. Minimum payments are designed to keep you broke. Minimum payments are the bank's favorite trick. When you see your statement and the minimum is between $35 or $50, you feel relieved. Oh, I can take that. $35, $50, that's easy. But you don't realize how many months you're going to pay that $35 to $50 is. Minimum payments keep you poor because they don't actually attack the debt. They maintain your debt. It's like your balance is the fire. And your minimum payments is you blowing on it. You're not putting it out, you're just moving the smoke around. And what do banks do when you just pay the minimum? They charge interest, they keep you on the hook of that debt. And the longer it takes you, the more money they make off of you. People think that being broke means struggling to afford things. Sometimes being broke means giving your future money away to a bank every single month. Here's an example. Let's say that you owe $5,500 after your vacation to Japan. If you had an estimated monthly payment of $151, you'd be paying for 60 months. After those 6 years of paying those minimum monthly payments, you'd be paying the total principal of $5,500, and then you'd be paying $3,319. If you really think about it, that's another half of a trip. That's half of a down payment on a car, or maybe even 1/8 of a down payment on a cheap house. Okay, let's say that your monthly payment was $120, $31 less than $151 that we initially said. Guess how many months it would take to pay off? 94 months. That's an extra 3 years. And guess how much total interest you'd be paying? So in the first example, you were paying $3,300. In the second example, paying $30 less a month, you would pay a total of $5,705 in interest. You can do this with your own debt by just using a calculator online. Isn't it crazy putting this all into numbers? Do not use money that you cannot pay back right away. Credit cards should be used as debit cards. There are times in life to use leverage, but credit cards are not one of them. I know this may be a hard pill to swallow, but if you are in some sort of credit card debt that you're only paying minimums on, then you may need to rethink your spending habits, or if you should even have credit cards. Credit can be important when buying a house, buying a car, but the first step is understanding your habits. What's the point in having a good credit score if you are tens and thousands of dollars in debt? In the next video, I'll talk about how to utilize a credit card appropriately and how to game the system. Please consider subscribing. Start Anyway is my journey of content creation, and I wanted to challenge you as well to start anyway on anything you always wanted. Financial literacy, dating, or just getting over your fears. On this channel, I talk about self-improvement or hard topics to talk about.